Hi, how you doing and welcome back to the video on the channel. What we have for you today is a little bit of a different video because Son and Salah, they go into the respective international competitions and a lot of you, including me, own them in your team. So we're going to have a look at alternative options for both players and put them in a bit of a tier list. So if you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. All the support has been awesome and really appreciate it. So if we can keep that going into the new year, that would be fantastic as well. Let's take a look at the possible players. So the tier list is on screen and the first player we're going to look at is Raheem Sterling from Chelsea. Now Chelsea's fixtures do look really good and they do seem to be getting it together, at least from an attacking point of view. Sterling, compared to a lot of players on this list, is relatively cheap and he is the lowest owned as well, but there's probably good reason for why he is so low owned. Like, he's got 5 goals this season, but 3 of those came in the same game, so he's only scored in 3 separate games this season. He has actually started all but 3 games for Chelsea. He did actually get on the bench for the most recent game this game week, so I think he's an okay option really, but I think in terms of how he's comparing to other players on this tier list, he's going to go at the bottom. Not bad, but not for me. The next player we're going to look at is Jarrod Bowen. Now, he is someone who he started the game at 7 million. He's actually gone up 1 million in price, but I wouldn't let that put me off. At 27.4% owned, you might think that's really high ownership, but it's really only 1 in 4 FPL managers own him, so 3 in 4 actually don't, and to me that kind of counts as a differential. 11 goals and 2 assists. He's been scoring regularly, especially in recent games, and he's got 90 minutes in all but 1 game. We are recording this video before Game Week 20's fixtures have finished, but from Game Week 21, his fixtures look really good. Like Sheffield United, Bournemouth, Forest and Brentford look fantastic. And that Man United and Arsenal games, they're not as intimidating as they look on paper. You know, Man United really inconsistent, and Arsenal, they've already beaten away from home this season. So for me, he is an absolute gem. He would be one of the first players I would be getting in my team for Son and Salah. The next player we're looking at is Phil Foden. Now at 7.7 million, he is a really good price as well, and he's even lower owned than Bowen at 16%. 5 goals and 6 assists, that includes 4 returns in his last 3. And the thing we have with Foden is we always think he's going to get rotated. Man City attackers, you know, they don't play consistently, but he has started all but 1 game so far this season. Now you might question, like, De Bruyne's coming back. You know, is that going to affect Foden's minutes? Is he going to be pushed further out wide where he's less of an impact in the game? I wouldn't worry about that just yet. Like, De Bruyne is, I would say, quite a way away from returning for 90-minute games. You know, he's yet to make an appearance since the first game of the season, and he's going to be introduced gradually into the team. Man City's fixtures look fantastic. That Burnley, Brentford, Everton, Bournemouth especially, that run of games while Son and Salah are potentially away, looks brilliant. I'm putting him in, be rude not to. He's not quite as top tier as Bowen, but for me, he is really good and someone I will definitely be considering in my team. The next player we're looking at is Odegaard, and I've only picked 1 player from Arsenal in this tier list, but for me, he is the best option. He's cheaper than Saka, and he is quite low owned, but for me, when I was watching Arsenal play, everything went through Odegaard. When they lost to West Ham, they were looking for a goal from anywhere, but really they were just giving it to Odegaard and hoping he could either win a penalty or do a bit of, you know, cool passing and tricks in the box. So he is their main man. Now he's only got 1 attacking return in his last 5, but I think if Arsenal score, Odegaard looked like he would be the most involved. Saka for me was a bit too out wide, wasn't quite involved in the play. Odegaard was involved in everything, and Arsenal's fixtures on paper do look really good. Like, they are a top 4 team. They are a really good team once they get everything clicking. So he would be an option for me, but he's not quite the best option. So I couldn't blame you if you went for Odegaard. He would be my best Arsenal option out of all of them, in my opinion. But he's not quite that top tier that you might be looking for that immediate impact. So the next player we're looking at is Cole Palmer. Now, pound for pound, he is the best value player in FPL right now. He has 8 goals and 5 assists. All 13 of those attacking returns have come in his last 13 games. and he's played 90 minutes in each of his last 5 games. He was suspended for last game week, but other than that, he is someone who is making Chelsea tick. And from an attacking point of view, like we said with Sterling, Chelsea are looking okay, and the fixtures look pretty good as well. At 23.5% owned, like Jared Bowen, we kind of said, it looks quite high, but it's actually not that high. And I think if you were to get in, say, Palmer and Bowen, that percentage ownership of players who own both of them is even lower, because you've only got 23.5% of players that own Palmer. So that's the maximum you could get who also own Jared Bowen as well. So you're likely to have a smaller percentage of FPL players who own both. So that would really give you a good advantage, that combination of players, if you're looking to transfer out Son and Salah. So for me, Cole Palmer is an absolute gem. So our last player we're going to look at is Gordon from Newcastle. Now, he is someone who was pretty hot property a few game weeks ago, but him and Newcastle have gone off the boil, and Newcastle are looking tired at the moment. He is someone that I own in my team, and I was thinking of transferring him out, but that Son and Salah transfers, they need to take priority. And also in game week 23, that Luton, Forest and Bournemouth combination of fixtures, they look pretty good. And Newcastle are a good team. You could even argue someone like Aston Villa, they're a little bit hit and miss at the moment, as well as Arsenal. So Newcastle are someone that could turn it around. Gordon, though, he has only got 1 return in his last 5. So for me, he is going to go in, couldn't blame you. I think if you didn't own any of these players, I would absolutely go with Bowen and Palmer. I think if you owned one of Bowen and Palmer already, then Phil Foden is the next best. If you own all 3, then you look lower down the tier list. So yeah, let me know what you think about the players. Is there anyone that I've missed out? Is there anyone that you think shouldn't be in here that is? I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, as well as what you're thinking for your combination of players. Have you got Salah and Son, or just one of them? So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Please do like and subscribe. The support is incredible, and we do appreciate it on a small channel that's trying to grow. I will see you in the next one.